to people what's going down. You may be saying to yourself, what the heck are you doing? You're supposed to be in New York. You'd be correct in saying that. But I went to bed early last night. I was all packed up, ready to go, ready to catch an Uber at 3:50 a.m. to head to beautiful Milwaukee Billy Mitchell International Airport. Clearly the international means maybe Canada, maybe Mexico, but be that as it may. Then I went to bed early so I could get some sleep. And my alarm goes off. I'm like, oh my God, is it time for me to get up already? Well, it was only 11 o'clock at night when beautiful Delta Airlines said, hey bro, we've decided that instead of getting you in at 9:15 a.m., we think it's better you get there at 7:30 p.m. And I said, holy shnikes, I better see what I can do. So I got up, of course, went downstairs, knew that the only I did click on the only flight that they said was available that even got me that early, was available, so I took it. And I thought, well, I'll call and maybe I can talk to an individual that can get me a better flight. Well, no, I called in. I thought about just canceling the flight and booking another one on another airline. There was nothing, there was nada, had no choice. So now, instead of flying the not so friendly skies on the way to, actually by now, oh no, I'd still be in the air. I find myself, actually no, I'd be there by now. Anyway, I find myself back in Wauwatosa, going for a little walk to get some steps in before the great weekend. And so that's what I'm doing. I thought I'd check in with you. Brooklyn this weekend. So tonight, we're not going to have any rehearsal. So I'm just going to go up there and wing it. I'm going to do one song by myself with the rhythm section. Nate Smith's playing drums. That should be pretty wild. There's a song called You Never Know. I believe it's called. It goes doom decka decka boka doom 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 decka decka boka a second while home decka haka toka shing doom and it's off the Jeff Beck There and Back record. And we did that one on the live stream. We just winged it. So now I have a little bit more of a verge that I'll be doing. But without any rehearsal. Just go up there and play. Then I'm doing a version of The Pump with Alex Skolnick. That should be fun. And then I think I'm jamming with Eric Gales at some point. And we're going to do Coach as Lovers. We'll see how that goes. Usually when my trio does Coach as Lovers, we do it a bit slower. And instead of going to that G major 7 in the solo section, we usually go to a G augmented 7 with a flat 9. So I can do my ultra-dominant illusions instead of just going Care Bear major 7 land or some kind of Lydian fest. But tonight, I shall return to the original arrangement and engage in aforementioned activity, and it should be good, clean fun. I'm back, folks. The phone knocked me off of my recording. I'm sure there's some preference I can have that my recording shouldn't get interrupted by my Apple Watch telling me that I just completed another mile of my great journey. But lo and behold, we're gonna have to go old school. So hopefully my son Dylan can edit these two videos together. I think he has the technology. Usually what happens is I do the videos and I hand them off to Dylan and he does the thumbnail and description and whatnot, and off they go into the great hinterland known as the internet. Anyway, I was talking about doing the Jeff Beck show tonight. Tomorrow I'm playing with a rhythm section for a few tunes. Be able to probably talk through the arrangements. When I do trips like this, I always gotta figure out what I'm gonna bring. It always makes the most sense for me to bring one of my Reverend Gristle Masters, because that's the guitar that I can do kind of everything on. Yeah, it doesn't have Mr. Wiggles on it, but I have figured out ways to do, shall we say, whatever I need to do on a T-style guitar. And it has my pickups on it, my Fishman Gristle Tone pickups, which if I press that button in, I get a little bit more meat. They're totally quiet. I can do all my volume slurs, tone control wahs, all that kind of sweet schnikey. And that guitar is going to stay in tune for me. And I just restrung it. And of course, I use those D'Addario NYXLs. They seem to do me right. And I use a 10 set, 10 through 40, whatever the hell it is. I always forget. And I'm bringing one guitar, but I'm taking that new orange 3-guitar road case of mine. And although I'm only bringing one guitar, I'm going to take Jam Pedals has this really nice case for my Coch Master Supreme. And so I pop my cords in there and adapters and whatnottery. And that fits in that road case. So I'm going to check that shit so I don't have to deal with carrying a guitar on board, which, as we know, can be a situation fraught with peril. So I'm going to check that and then bring my duds and my backpack on the actual plane itself. I am getting in late tonight, or later, so I'm going to go straight to the gig. I don't think the Jeff Beck tribute thing starts until like 10 o'clock at night, so I think I should be okay. Provided, of course, that there are no further delays and whatnot. A lot of activity going on in New York this weekend. They got, of course, the Knicks. They got the World Cup stuff. But rock and roll is what we're interested in, ladies and gentlemen, or guitar-fueled rootsy jams, I guess, are afoot. In the meantime, I am walking down on beautiful Menominee River Parkway in Wauwatosa, Wisconsin. And give you a little look-see around here. I grew up around here, ladies and gentlemen. People say, well, why'd you stay in Wisconsin? And I'm like, well, it's right in the middle of the country. And my goal was, like, I can venture out to forays into the great universe and keep a station back here where I'll have some kind of security blanket of sort. Plus, once we started having kids, it's a good place to raise kids. School systems around here are pretty damn good. And prices are not astronomical. So because I always kind of wanted to do my own thing and not necessarily have to be predicated on being in a music industry hub to engage in convivial schmoozing on a day-to-day basis, it just worked out where I lived here, and it's so far so good. I made it this far. I think it's going to be all right. So anywho, now that the kids are grown, could we move someplace else? Yes, but I don't know. You know what they say? No matter where you go, there you are. And around here, it's just fine. It's beautiful. And the traffic, I did this discussion last night with some buddies, or yesterday. It's like traveling like we did on this last tour, and you go to all these different cities, and their traffic is just abominable. And you get home to Milwaukee. Now, it's a major-ish city, but even at rush hour, it's like you may be waiting a little bit here and there, but for the most part, it's like, oh, isn't this cute? Isn't this cute? Oh, there's a little backup. It's not like when you're in Atlanta or DC area or Houston or Dallas or you name it, where all of a sudden it's like, oh, it's 4 a.m. and there's a traffic jam. Whatever. I'm not going to whine. I'm not really whining. I'm just stating facts. What the hell am I talking about? I think I'm too wine conscious. Not W-I-N-E, by the way. Be that as it may. So I'm going to head to the airport a few hours here after my spirited perambulation. And I'm going to head to beautiful, I do have a connection now. The other flight was direct. Now I got a connection. Be going through beautiful Atlanta Hartsfield Airport, which, as we all know, is as bad as the traffic is in Atlanta. Sorry, Atlanta, I see you. It's a place where there's a few too many people trying to get a few too many places. And I'm not judging, I'm just stating. So I will get in, take a mighty Uber to the gig. It's at the Warsaw Concerts, apparently the place is called, in the Brooklyn area. And John Scofield's playing tonight. I really hope I get to catch some of his show, because I am a very large Scofield fan. Two of my favorite offerings of his when I was in just out of high school into college, and kind of going through my pseudo jazz phase, which I've always been in since. But the record Blue Matter was transformative. John Scofield Blue Matter, which had Gary Granger on bass and the delectable Dennis Chambers on drums. That's when kind of Dennis Chambers was unleashed upon the consciousness of the musical world. And that was followed up by a record called Loud Jazz. And I loved both those records. And there was Pick Hits Live, which featured that same rhythm section, a live format. Those are my favorites. Now, over the years, I've had other John Scofield records, too many to mention. I only saw him once on that Uber Jam tour. Only met Scofield once, and that was at the Sweetwater Gear Fest at one year down in beautiful Fort Wayne, Indiana. You know, if you want to get down on the ground, Fort Wayne. Anyway, met him there. He was a lovely chap. We chatted for a moment. And so I'm looking forward to seeing him tonight. Tomorrow, Mike Stern's on the bill. Bill Frisell's on the bill. Al Di Meola, Vernon Reid, Alex Skolnick, Venable. It's gonna be a goddamn party is what it's gonna be. So I'm looking forward to all of it. Look at this mysterious bridge. The bridge to nowhere. This goes to an old pool, which has now been renovated. But back when I was a kid, we'd go here all the time, and the water was absolutely frigid. And then I came to realize that my lovely wife, who lived in Minnesota, would come down and visit her uncle, who actually lived next to these two girls I knew very, very well in high school. Of course, this is all beyond my knowledge, but at the time, she used to come here and swim when she was a kid. I bet we swam here at the same time back in the day. And then years later, I'd meet her in Minnesota, and one thing led to another, and 4 kids later, 30 some odd years of wedded bliss. It all happens here in Wauwatosa, ladies and gentlemen. It all happens here in Tosa. Well, listen, you guys take care of yourselves. I shall maybe report in from beautiful New York. Here's a little bit of the illustrious Manam, as we called it back in the day. It looks a little cloudy down there because we've had some tumultuous storms. The skies are angry, my friend. Not today. Blue as the day is long. Anyways, folks, you have a good one. We'll talk to you soon. Adios.